any mention of your personal details, your address, date of birth, or any sort of personal information like that on those videos?
Yes, there is.
There is.
There is. Emails, phone numbers, addresses, the whole shebang.
Such as addresses, tele numbers. I'm just making sure I've got everything there with me. Okay, so it could be damaging to Westminster Police reputation, your own,
And the British government.
and the government.
Yeah. I mean, you know, people could say, argue, and say that's a load of rubbish, but I assure you that is the case. And, you know, I'll let the police decide about that, but, you know, the police are not going to be interested in that. I think the police will just be interested in who's got the content and how did they manage to commandeer and extract from my hard drive.
Yeah. Okay. Because I've sent all this over, one question they're going to come back to me on is there with the videos, what's the contents relating to the police? They're going to come back and ask me that.
Now, this is a crucial bit. Because within the pages of 52 to 48, I don't know. I know you got to remember is 48 backwards. There's 48 pages that they didn't manage to get their hands on. So it's just the 4 pages.
So 4 pages, yeah.
Which is totaling around something like 70 odd videos.
Yeah.
Like I say, for me to go into it now, I wouldn't be able to remember, but I can show officers tomorrow.
Okay.
If they're interested. But like I said, I don't think they're going to be interested in, you know, misgivings of where a force has gone wrong or not understood something. They're just going to want to be interested in who has stole the content.
Yeah. And so it's sort of theft from yours in a sense.
Yeah.
It's taking your property. So it'll be interesting, but okay, bear with me. So have you already got copies of pages 52 to 48?
No, like I say, I mean, yes, I've already got the videos. Don't get me wrong. But the point is that
they've been copied.
No, they've been stolen. They haven't been copied. You see, you've got to remember, intellectual-wise, property-wise, if somebody copies something, it changes. But when you actually steal the files off an external hard drive, in other words, they're not there anymore. That's when it becomes theft. It's electronic theft. Now, what could be argued, or what might be argued, like I say, is that they'll say that it was downloaded in an internet, in a public internet. That's what they'll argue. But the fact is that it was downloaded, and it was right-clicked and dragged straight to my hard drive. Now you got to remember is that if they've taken the files off my external hard drive, then that means they're not taking them off their own desktop or their own drive. They've actually gone onto my drive to steal their files back. You see, they've gone onto my drive to steal their files back. But if they've done that, it changes again, doesn't it? Because you can't go onto my drive to steal something that I privately own. You can't do that. Not even the police can do that. Well, they can do that with a warrant, but With a warrant is investigation. With investigation is time, money, and so forth. That's why I don't believe it is the police. You know? But because if the police have obviously done that today, and it is the police, which I don't think it is, then they must have got a warrant, and I don't believe that they couldn't have had a warrant, because I live in Worcestershire, and you know, West Midlands is a different constabulary. Either way, officer, whoever's done it has acted beyond the law. And if you've acted beyond the law, then any evidence that they wish to try and leverage or use against the police or the government is inadmissible in a court of law or any kind of legal wrangling fight, because it's my content.
No, that's fine. Okay, Mr. Ray. I've sent this over to the local officers, and they're reviewing it now, so they may well give you a call back very shortly to discuss this matter a little further with you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like I say, everything was okay until I got home here today, turned on my hard drive, and I put the hard drive in, and just all of the data that I'd got today was just completely and utterly vanished. Just completely stolen. And the thing is, if I hadn't gone to Coventry Police to tell them what had happened in regards to the screenshots and everything, because I feel an even more idiot now, because those screenshots have been stolen also. But the thing is, if officers do find something, and there is a kind of bridge to criminality here, then they can go and request that drive and get the files back that way. And prove that they were stolen.
Leave that with us. We've got a couple of officers who are looking into it now for you, so they may well be giving you a call back shortly, okay?
Yeah, of course, great.
No problem. Leave that with us, and we'll speak to you shortly.
Alright then, thanks a lot.
Okay, take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Okay, carrying on. This is the driving question, Seagate. Now, as you can see by the pin on the back, it is 1K9APP 500 2TB. SN NA7 SREPG. And if I recall correctly, this was purchased from Maplin's. Now, the files, as I've just said, were dragged to the hard drive. They were right-clicked and they were put in there. In other words, I watched them download onto my drive, hence the green bar as it ascends numerically. So you can't say that they were dragged to the hard drive straight away. No, what the green bar and rising numerically actually means that it's writing to your drive. It's writing to your drive, which is why it takes a few seconds or like under a minute and so forth. And that's exactly what happened. So, as I said, whoever's stolen them kind of would have a point, because, in a way, because the downloads went to the downloads went to that computer. That's fine, they did, and it's not my computer, obviously. But the downloads, it's actually the downloads that I took and wrote to my hard drive. So in other words, the actual downloads, the actual content was only used through the computer. So in other words, I basically took the downloads from the computer. Now you can turn around and say, it could be argued that, well, I've took the downloads off the computer. And I shouldn't have done that, because it's a public computer. But it's my content, and I'm sure a judge will say, because the downloads have gone onto the computer and I've took them straight away and wrote them to my hard drive, It doesn't give the people that have done this the right to go onto my hard drive and steal them back. And that's what they've done. Now, last time I heard is that this hard drive did not have. It was my property. So, if they want to turn around and say that they've got legal access to them files, which are my private YouTube videos, that's up to them. And I'll see you in court. End of. I will see you in court. And that's got absolutely nothing to do with me. But like I say, those videos were, and all this was about was basically copyrighting the videos, which is why I was downloading them. And because I've been I've been stopped from doing that now because the files have been taken off me. It means I've got to do it again, and do it again in whatever way or means I shall. So, like I say, the files actually being on this hard drive, as soon as it's extracted, you'll see me dragging the files.
Thank you for calling 101. We're connecting you to West Mercia Police. If you require an alternative force, press hash. Welcome to West Mercia Police. All calls are recorded for training and policing purposes. If you are reporting a crime or incident, please press 1. Otherwise, please wait to be connected to the... Thank you for calling 101. We're connecting you to West Mercia Police. If you require an alternative force, press hash. Please say the name of the police force you'd like to be connected to.
West Midlands.
So that's West Midlands Police, answering only yes or no. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for calling West Midlands Police. Please note that your telephone call may be monitored or recorded for security, quality control, or training purposes. If we are dealing with a current inquiry, please enter the full extension number you've been given now, or hold for the operator. Good evening, West Midlands Police. Am I speaking? Am I help you?
Hi there. I was told to call back and quote a reference number.
Okay. Just take that number from me then, please.
Yeah, it's log 2452.
Is that up to date? Yesterday's date.
It is, yes.
I keep forgetting it to change the date now, hasn't it? 2542 of the 8th.
No, 2452, my dear.
Sorry.
Sure.
And your name is?
It's Ray, Jeff Ray.
Okay. Right, okay. Right, how can I help you?
I was just asked to call back.
Right, yeah, they've put an update on here saying that it needs to be reported to Action Fraud.
It needs to be reported to Action Fraud.
Yeah, that's the update that's been put on here. Well, it says you were happy to come to a police station, weren't you, according to this? Then it says, please phone the caller back and tell him to report it to Action Fraud or his local police station.
Right, well, it was in West Midlands, Coventry, that it happened.
Right, but I'm only going off the log and it's been updated to say either your local police station or Action Fraud.
Right, because I mean, my local police will just say, well, if somebody's stolen your files in Coventry, which is West Midlands, go to them. That's what they'll say.
Yeah, I think your best bet is to call Action Fraud or report it online.
Yeah.
Action Fraud.
Yeah. Okay. I will do that. I will do that.
Do you want me to give you their number?
No. I have all that. But you know, it's like I say, if those files are used, if those files are used without my consent, without the law fully knowing of how the files have been attained, regardless of whether it's been a public computer or not, you know, it could make or break an investigation, you say.
Okay.
That's what's concerning me, officer.
Right. So if these files are used, it would make or break a case, yeah?
I believe it will, yes, because there's over 70 videos, 5 pages worth of YouTube clips that were downloaded in an internet cafe that somebody has physically taken off an external hard drive that I had connected to the machine, you see. Now, just because obviously it was a public computer, the downloads themselves, of which I downloaded, I right-clicked and dragged to my hard drive, so it's still my intellectual property, you see.
Yeah.
And it only stops becoming my property when either the session ends or the computer turns off. And neither was the case. You know, the files were dragged to an external hard drive. What they've done is the hacker has basically hacked into the network, which has commandeered the desktop, and they've done that, and that's how they've got access to my external hard drive, which was connected to the desktop, and they've stole the files back, believing that just because it's a public internet, they must believe that somehow that they have a legal right to the files, and they don't, because they've been taken off my external hard drive.
Okay. I've updated the log, saying that obviously, you know, I said about going to your local station, but obviously because it happened on the West Midlands, and you live on the West Mercia area, they don't need to send you back to us anyway. I've put on there that you will be reporting it to Action Fraud, but obviously you are concerned. But when you spoke to my colleague before, they put the concerns on as well about the files. They have noted that. So report it to Action Fraud as has been advised, but you may get another call back from an officer to discuss it, okay?
Be my guest.
Report it to Action Fraud first.
I will do.
Alright, but I've updated that for you.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Okay, welcome to another evidence recording session. This day the BBC reporting in Birmingham. Okay, so you can see what's going on here. Now, they've tried to use this evidence. Now, I'm not supposed to know about this, but they've tried to use the evidence. And this is just, I'm coming from a gut instinct point of view here. They've tried to use this evidence in regards to evidence against the police against the people that have been hacking me, or the government. It could be, I don't know who's doing it, honestly, but there's three different bodies, three different entities that are arguing with one another about my content. That's the top and bottom of it. I'm not doing anything wrong. I never have done anything wrong. But the point is that if people are so desperate to the fact that they need to go to an internet cafe, sit beside me, commandeer the network, to actually steal my files, and they have stolen them, because the files were written to the drive. Now, the drive has constantly been in my possession since the day I bought it, apart from one day. And that one day was last Saturday night when I stopped in the Travelodge and I left it behind, where I've also discovered a missing drive has been stolen. Now, there's no point me running to the Metropolitan Police and saying somebody's been in my hotel room and stole a hard drive, because they already know, and I've already got information, and if you don't believe me, ask them, in regards to Travelodge and the shareholders and the owners of Travelodge in the criminal conspiracy regarding myself that has been going on for so long now. So I'm not going to go into a Metropolitan Police station and say my hard drive's been stolen and this has happened and that, because I'd be absolutely wasting my time. You're saying to yourself, well, what's giving you the reason to believe this? Well, I did write to the police commissioner and he did decline me to not show me any data whatsoever. He did decline, and the Metropolitan Police did say that they've got no evidence of anything happening in 17 Stitch. You need to understand this. So there's plenty of reasons why I've not gone to the Metropolitan Police, even while crimes are happening in their patch. So whether this drive has been replaced, whether this drive has been copied, whether somebody's replaced it and put their own in, is a high possibility. But we also know, in regards to my other Seagate drive and the company Argos, we also know that the Metropolitan Police are sitting on information in regards to that. So there's enough reason and suspicion for me to believe that they're pulling these tricks to do these things. So whether the drive has been replaced and they have somehow put a code into the drive that has erased the files immediately, I don't know. But what is interesting is that what's still on the drive is the file CM0013. Now this is a classic example when your hard drive has been monitored, replaced, copied, or been hacked. It's like a kind of tracer to what machines you're using or what drive you're putting something into. In other words, what I'm putting my portable hard drive into the desktop. So there is a real high possibility in regards to that it has been replaced, copied, and so forward. So that when the files have been copied onto the drive the other day, it's basically erased them. Now if that has happened, well, that's destruction of my intellectual property, isn't it? And the police know this. So if West Midlands Police can't investigate stolen intellectual property because of their own misgivings and their own corruption in regards to the government, that could have something to do with my Ford car, my red stroke purple Ford car, registration RE03VTT. Now if it's found out the West Midlands Police have collaborated with the likes of the BBC and these people that have been following me and stalking me, and they've put covert equipment in the car, both audio and visual, and have then deliberately tried to get the car off the road by destroying it, of which has already been reported to trading standards. If West Midlands Police, and then that means basically West Midlands Police cannot investigate what's going on, because they know that there was no right to put any covert equipment in that my car RE03 VTT. Now at the moment the car's off the road. You understand this? The car is actually off the road at the minute. It's insured, but there's no tax. Yes, it's got MOT, but I'm not driving it around. So if it's still insured, then I think the legal definition comes as that it's still on the road. Now, what's very interesting here is that Rachel deliberately, and I say deliberately now, has gone out of her way to not pay an insurance payment, so the insurance company, First Central Insurance, had a reason to basically kick me off their insurance. Now Rachel's told me that she's got other insurance elsewhere, and it's insured. Well, I'm going to be finding out by the particulars of that today, and I'm going to find out what's going on, because I think Rachel has deliberately gone out of her way to do that. And obviously the insurance company First Central, they're trying to cover up the insurance company that I was using, First Central. They're trying to cover that up, ladies and gentlemen, because Rachel has deliberately gone out of her way not to pay that payment so that they could kick me off their insurance. So that's a real problem now, isn't it? So I think the best way forward for this, and the only way forward for this, is for me to cancel my insurance of what Rachel has decided, the company decided to go with. So what I'm going to do now is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep that car off the road. I have to keep off the road now, because what it's doing is, it's impeding in extreme matters when it comes to West Midlands Police investigating very serious incidents about people stealing intellectual property. And the people that have been following me and stalking me are probably getting off on the idea that West Midlands Police can't investigate because there's a live car on the road of something that they involved themselves in. But then that'll just go straight back to government and so forward. So the way to eradicate that is to basically get the car off the road immediately. End of. So I'm just giving you the possibilities of what's happened here. Now, like I say, the police are entitled to inspect and take away this drive, but I'm absolutely, as per usual, as you've just heard, wasting my time with the police in regards to people stealing files. The files were downloaded and the files were stolen off the drive. Now, if there is a virus or a code been put on the drive that has erased it, then that's destruction of intellectual property, isn't it? It's basically damaged the hard drive in order to retain the downloaded YouTube files, of which is my property, which immediately prejudices any kind of legal extraction of what people think they can extract in regards to an internet cafe. So that's the situation in regards to that. You've heard, I've tried with the police, and their hands are restricted, as you can see, because if they keep pushing me to action fraud, then we've got a real problem there, haven't we? Well, we have, and that's to do with the government and action fraud. That's got nothing to do with me or anybody else. There's nothing I can do about that. But if I get the car off the road, then that will free up, hopefully, that will free up the West Midlands Police being able to do what they do. Or I could just basically ensure that the car is taxed and insured, get this off the road, and walk straight down to West Mercia and hand over the details. And get them to investigate this. Or we could choose another force, because one way or another, it's going to get investigated what's happening to me.